Waiting for the right person can feel like an endless journey, filled with uncertainty and doubt. Many people wonder if they will ever meet the one God has prepared for them. And in that waiting, impatience can creep in. But one of the most important things to understand is that God's timing is always perfect. He is never late, never early. He moves at the exact moment that aligns with his divine plan for your life. Often people rush into relationships because they feel pressured by society, family, or their own emotions. They settle for less than what God has for them because they fear being alone. But when God is writing your love story, he does not operate on human timelines. He knows exactly when you are ready to meet your soulmate, and he will not allow that moment to come before its time. If you try to force a relationship before God has ordained it, you may find yourself struggling, compromising, or even losing yourself in something that was never meant for you. God's timing is not just about when you will meet your soulmate. It is also about the preparation that takes place before that moment. He is working behind the scenes, shaping both you and your future partner into the people you need to be for each other. If you are still in a season of waiting, it is not because God has forgotten about you. It is because he is still preparing you. He is refining your heart, teaching you patience and strengthening your faith so that when the right person comes, you will be ready to receive them fully. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to take control of their own love story instead of surrendering it to God. They rush ahead, trying to make things happen on their own, rather than trusting that God has already orchestrated everything. But when you trust in his timing, you can rest in the assurance that you do not have to chase love. The right person will come into your life effortlessly in a way that only God could arrange. Many times God delays things not to punish you, but to protect you. He sees what you cannot see. He knows which relationships would break you, which people are not meant for you, and what experiences would distract you from your purpose. That is why sometimes doors close and relationships do not work out, because God is leading you away from the wrong person so he can guide you toward the right one. It may hurt in the moment, but every closed door is a step closer to the blessing he has prepared for you. Another reason why God's timing is so important is that he knows when you are truly ready. It is not just about finding someone who meets your expectations. It is about becoming the person who is ready to love and be loved in a way that honors him. Your soulmate is not just anyone. They are someone who will walk alongside you in faith, who will uplift you, who will be part of your divine purpose. And for that to happen, both of you must be in the right season of your lives. When you learn to trust God's timing, you no longer feel the need to compare your journey to others. You do not have to rush, stress, or settle. You can wait with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Love that is built on God's foundation will always come at the right time, in the right way, and with the right person. And when it does, you will look back and understand why the wait was necessary. Before God brings your soulmate into your life, he first prepares you. Many people believe that finding the right person is all about searching, but in reality, it is just as much about becoming. God does not just want to give you a relationship. He wants to shape you into someone who is ready to receive and nurture that relationship. He works in your heart, refining your character, strengthening your faith, and teaching you important lessons that will make you the best version of yourself for the person he has prepared for you. Often people focus so much on the kind of partner they want that they forget to focus on the kind of partner they need to become. They pray for someone who is kind, faithful, patient, and loving, yet they themselves struggle with those very qualities. But God in his wisdom does not just grant requests without preparation. He allows experiences, both joyful and painful, to shape you into the person you need to be. Sometimes this means going through seasons of loneliness, challenges, or personal growth that feel difficult, but every moment serves a purpose. One of the key ways God prepares you for your soulmate is by teaching you self-love and self-worth. If you do not truly love yourself, you will struggle to receive love from someone else. If you do not know your worth, you may settle for less than what God has for you. That is why he sometimes removes people from your life, allowing you to be alone for a season, not to punish you, but to teach you that your value does not come from a relationship, but from him. When you learn to embrace who you are in Christ, you will no longer seek validation from others. You will enter a relationship from a place of wholeness rather than desperation. Another way God prepares you is by deepening your faith. A strong relationship is not just built on emotions or attraction, it is built on a solid spiritual foundation. God wants you to rely on him first, to develop a deep and intimate relationship with him, so that when your soulmate arrives, your love will be rooted in something unshakable. If you place all your hopes, happiness, and identity in another person, the relationship will struggle under that pressure. But when God is at the center, love is built on trust, faith, and purpose. God also uses past experiences to prepare you. Sometimes he allows you to go through heartbreak, rejection, or disappointment, not because he enjoys seeing you hurt, but because he is using those moments to teach you. Every failed relationship, every mistake, and every lesson is a stepping stone toward what he ultimately has for you. He allows you to see what love is not, so that when true love arrives, you will recognize it. He closes doors that were never meant to be opened, redirects you when you are headed in the wrong direction, and refines you through challenges so that you can appreciate and steward the right relationship when it comes. During this preparation process, patience is essential. Many people grow frustrated because they feel ready for love but do not see it happening. They question why God is making them wait, why others seem to find their soulmate effortlessly while they remain single. But the waiting period is not wasted time. It is the season where God removes unhealthy attachments, strengthens your character, and aligns your heart with his will. Instead of rushing into relationships out of impatience, trust that God is working. Every delay has a purpose. Every lesson has meaning. When the time is right, God will bring two prepared hearts together, not two people looking for completion in each other, but two whole individuals who are ready to love and serve each other in a way that honors him. And when that moment comes, you will see that everything you went through was leading you to something far greater than you ever imagined. God speaks to us in many ways, and when it comes to revealing your soulmate, he does not leave you guessing. Instead, he provides signs and confirmations that guide you toward the person he has prepared for you. But to recognize these divine signals, you must be spiritually attentive and patient. Many people overlook God's voice because they expect a dramatic revelation. Yet he often speaks through quiet moments, subtle nudges, and inner peace. One of the most powerful ways God confirms your soulmate is through prayer. When you surrender your love life to him and seek his guidance, he begins to show you what aligns with his plan. If you are consistently praying over a relationship and experiencing doubt, confusion, or unease, that may be God's way of telling you something is not right. But when he brings the right person, he grants clarity, not chaos. There will be a deep sense of peace, a knowing in your heart that this person is not just a desire, but a part of your divine purpose. God also speaks through his word. The Bible is filled with wisdom about love, relationships, and godly character. When you are in alignment with Him, He will highlight scriptures that speak directly to your situation. Perhaps He reminds you of the importance of patience, or He convicts your heart about certain qualities to look for. The right relationship will never contradict God's word. If you have to compromise your faith, values, or morals to keep someone in your life, that is a clear sign that they are not your soulmate. Another way God reveals your soulmate is through divine connections and circumstances. The right person often enters your life in a way that feels orchestrated by something greater than chance. It could be an unexpected encounter, a friendship that blossoms into something deeper, or a series of events that lead you toward each other. God is a master planner, and when He is writing your love story, you will begin to notice how perfectly things fall into place. However, not all signs come in the form of ease. Sometimes God confirms a relationship through endurance and trials. Many believe that if something is from God, it will be effortless. But the truth is, even God-ordained relationships go through challenges. The difference is, when God is in it, both people fight for it with faith, patience, and love. They do not walk away at the first sign of difficulty. Instead, they grow stronger together. If a relationship faces trials but ultimately leads both individuals closer to God and builds character, it can be a sign that it is meant to last. Another important confirmation comes from wise counsel. God places people in your life, mentors, pastors, friends, and family, who can see things from a different perspective. If those who truly care about you are consistently warning you about someone, do not ignore their words. Sometimes God uses others to speak into your life, to protect you from relationships that are not meant for you. But when the right person comes along, those closest to you will often affirm what God has already placed in your heart. Above all, God confirms your soulmate by giving you peace. Love that comes from Him does not bring constant fear, anxiety, or doubt. It does not make you feel like you have to chase, force, or manipulate circumstances to make it work. Instead, it flows naturally with mutual effort, understanding, and respect. When it is right, you will not feel the need to convince yourself or others. It will be clear. God is not the author of confusion, and when He reveals your soulmate, He does so in a way that aligns with His peace, His word, and His perfect plan. Trust that when the time is right, His confirmation will be undeniable. A soulmate is not just someone you love. It is someone who aligns with God's purpose for your life. Too often people focus only on emotions or attraction, believing that love alone is enough to sustain a relationship. But when God reveals your soulmate, it is about more than just feelings. It is about a deep connection built on shared values, a common vision, and a purpose that glorifies Him. When two people come together under God's plan, they are not just walking through life aimlessly. They have a direction. They understand that their relationship is not just for their happiness, but also for their spiritual growth and divine calling. God does not simply match people based on worldly compatibility. He aligns them based on His greater plan. He brings two individuals together who will strengthen each other's faith, encourage one another in their walk with Him, and inspire each other to fulfill the purpose He has set for their lives. One of the clearest signs that someone is your God-ordained partner is that they help you grow spiritually. They do not pull you away from God or lead you into temptation, but instead they challenge you to become a better person. They pray with you, study the Word with you, and push you to seek God first in everything. A true soulmate will not only love you, but will also remind you of God's love and His presence in your life. A relationship aligned with God's purpose will also be built on mutual respect and shared values. If two people are walking in completely different directions, one following God's path and the other following the world, the relationship will eventually struggle. But when both partners are rooted in faith, they move in harmony, supporting each other's dreams and calling. They have the same moral compass, the same priorities, and the same commitment to honoring God in their relationship. This alignment does not mean that both people will be perfect or that their relationship will be free from challenges. But it does mean that when difficulties arise, they will face them with faith rather than fear. They will not tear each other down in moments of struggle. Instead, they will uplift and encourage each other. Godly love is not selfish or controlling. It seeks to serve, to understand, and to build. A soulmate will stand by your side, not just in good times, but in moments of doubt, weakness, and growth. God also aligns relationships through the ability to pursue purpose together. A soulmate is not just someone who makes you happy, but someone who helps you fulfill the mission God has given you. Maybe you are called to serve in ministry, start a business, or impact others in a certain way. The right person will not distract you from that calling, but will support and enhance it. They will celebrate your successes, help you overcome your struggles, and walk beside you as you step into your destiny. It is important to remember that alignment with God's purpose does not mean everything will be effortless. There may be moments of uncertainty, tests of patience, and seasons of growth. But the difference is that a relationship ordained by God will always bring you back to Him. It will be marked by peace, not confusion, by faith, not fear, by love that reflects His love for you. When God reveals your soulmate, He is not just giving you a partner, He is giving you someone who will help you walk in your divine calling. The right relationship will always lead you closer to God, not further away. And when you find that kind of love, you will know that it is something sacred, something worth waiting for, and something designed by His perfect plan. God's timing is perfect, even when it does not align with our own desires. Many people grow impatient, wondering when their soulmate will arrive or questioning why they have to wait so long. But what often feels like a delay is actually divine preparation. God is not just working on bringing the right person into your life, He is also working on you, shaping you into the person who will be ready to receive and nurture that love. When we rush ahead of God, we risk settling for less than His best. Impatience leads people into relationships that are not aligned with God's plan. They force connections, ignore red flags, and try to make something work that was never meant to be. But when God is the author of your love story, there is no need to force anything. What He has for you will come in His perfect time, and when it does, it will be clear, peaceful, and undeniable. One of the most important things to understand about God's timing is that He is never late. Even when it feels like everyone else is finding love while you are still waiting, trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Comparison can make you believe that you are behind, but in reality, God is protecting you from unnecessary heartbreak, distraction, or relationships that would not serve His greater plan for you. Every moment of waiting has a purpose. During the waiting season, God is preparing both you and your soulmate. He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events, experiences, and lessons that will shape both of you into the people you need to be. You may not see what He is doing, but that does not mean He is not working. Just as a seed must go through a period of growth beneath the soil before it blooms, love must also be cultivated in the right conditions before it can flourish. It is in this season of waiting that God refines your heart, strengthens your faith, and teaches you valuable lessons about love, patience, and trust. He may be working on healing past wounds, removing unhealthy attachments, or developing qualities in you that will be essential in your future relationship. Instead of focusing on when your soulmate will come, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. The right person will not just be looking for love. They will be looking for someone who is whole, strong, and deeply rooted in faith. God's timing also teaches trust. Faith is not just believing that he will bring the right person, but trusting that even in the waiting, he is good. If you spend this time frustrated or anxious, you miss the beauty of what he is doing. The waiting season is not meant to be endured with impatience, but embraced with faith. It is a time to grow, to discover your purpose, and to build a strong relationship with God, so that when the right person comes, your love will be built on an unshakable foundation. When God's timing finally aligns, everything will make sense. The waiting, the prayers, the moments of doubt, it will all come together in a way that only he could design. You will realize that he was not just preparing you for love, but for love that is aligned with his purpose. And when you meet the person he has prepared for you, you will see that they were worth every moment of waiting, every unanswered prayer, and every lesson learned. God's best is always worth the wait. When God reveals your soulmate, it is not just about finding love. It is about building a relationship that reflects his love. A true God-ordained connection is not based on fleeting emotions, but on a deep, unshakable foundation. It is a love that stands the test of time, endures challenges, and continues to grow in faith and commitment. While the world may define love by passion, attraction, or convenience, God defines it by selflessness, patience, and a shared devotion to him. One of the greatest confirmations that someone is your soulmate is the presence of peace. God is not the author of confusion or doubt. When a relationship is truly from him, it will not leave you feeling anxious, uncertain, or insecure. That does not mean there will not be challenges, but it does mean that even in difficult moments, there will be a deep, abiding sense that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Love from God brings stability, not emotional chaos. A relationship designed by God will also be marked by growth. The right person will not hinder your relationship with God, but will strengthen it. They will encourage you to become the best version of yourself, to step into your purpose, and to continue seeking God above all else. They will love you not just in words, but in actions, through patience, kindness, and a willingness to work through challenges together. Real love is not just about how someone makes you feel in a moment, but about how they inspire you to grow over time. Another sign of a God-ordained relationship is alignment in purpose. While every couple will have different interests and strengths, their core values and life direction will be in harmony. God does not bring two people together to pull them in opposite directions. Instead, he unites them so that they can walk in faith side by side, supporting each other's callings. The right person will not compete with your purpose, but will complement it, helping you fulfill the mission God has placed in your heart. Commitment is another key aspect of God's design for love. A soulmate is not just someone who loves you when things are easy, but someone who chooses to stay, to work through difficulties, and to grow with you. In a world where relationships are often treated as disposable, godly love is built on the foundation of commitment and grace. It is a love that chooses to fight for each other rather than give up when challenges arise. Most importantly, a soulmate will reflect the love of Christ. They will show you grace, forgiveness, and unwavering support. They will remind you of your worth, not because of what you do, but because of who you are in God's eyes. Their love will be patient, not rushed, selfless, not selfish, enduring, not temporary. True love mirrors God's love, sacrificial, pure, and deeply rooted in faith. When God brings the right person into your life, it will not just be about romance. It will be about fulfilling his divine plan together. Love is not just a feeling, it is a calling. And when it is aligned with God's will, it becomes a testimony of his goodness, his faithfulness, and his perfect design.